Today we're going to be continuing working on the splash screens. Last time we finished working on the first one. Today we're going to be continue with the rest, right? So let's just start by duplicating this, calling this splash 2 for the second splash screen. Let's just try to get it at 32 pixel difference. And here we're just going to be doing the same thing we did, just changing the content. Okay, so first thing, I want to go here and I want to change this to say access, radio, channels. Okay, instead let's say listen to your favorites, AM and FM radio channels entire. Okay, so so next up, we want to change this image since it's not the correct representation. Now for the first one, we used the home image here, and we're going to be doing the same thing, but this time we're going to be using the favorites image, right? So the way we're going to be doing this is first, we have to make some changes. The reason for that is you can see there is a bunch of empty space down here, and that doesn't really work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate it a couple of times just for the image, and 2 times is quite enough. So let's change some part of this. So 201 and 22. Let's call these India for both of them. And now we can just right click, copy or paste as PNG. Control Shift C is the alternative. So just Control Shift C and delete. Okay, so now we're just going to be going over here and going. By the way, we didn't name this, I think. So let's just fix that quickly here. Let's call this. So let's call this the presentation. Actually, it's not the presentation. It's actually like the view. So it's the content. That's what I want to say. So let's rename this content as well. Then let's go over here to the image, and the only thing that we have to change is the width. So it should be constant at 148 width pixels. So I'm just going to do Control Shift R, that's paste and replace, and it should be 148. So now we have the image perfectly positioned here as well. So that is quite simply the second splash screen done. We just have to change the name, and let's just collapse this here. Okay. Let's get them in the right place. So we have the first and the second splash screens already prepared. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this one and work on the third splash screen off of this. Now the third splash screen will be a bit different from what we have been doing so far. I'm just going to start by changing this description here. I'm going to change it to access radio channels, or I think it's better to say radio stations from all over the world for free. Okay, so here also I would like to change it from channels to stations. Just making sure. Yeah, stations, great. So after that, I want to have some sort of representation of the different countries that we have radio channels from. Now, the way I'm going to be doing this is through just selecting some countries which are my most viewed countries, right? So these are the countries that on YouTube my videos are most viewed, so there isn't really any bias. So I'm just going to be selecting a couple of countries here. You can see I have this Figma file open, 200 plus country flags, bricks templates. This is a free Figma template, right? So this is a file that you could get from the Figma community store completely for free. So you can either get it from there, or if you're watching this course on its full release, I should be having the actual link to the Figma file here, eRadio, down below in the description, so you can access it from there. But for now, if it's not, you can just access it from this Figma file. Great. So here I want to select a couple of countries here. Let's start from grand in no particular order. Let's start from Croatia. I think it's around here, right? So I want to select only the flag. So here, let's just copy it and paste it right here. Okay, let's move on to, I think was it Uzbekistan or, by the way, this is not in any particular order of my viewership, if you were wondering. Uh, okay, so let's get USA here first, and also UK probably. Let's also get Ethiopia. Okay, we also need Iceland. Okay, let's continue with Netherlands. Or actually, it's Luxembourg. So I think this is Netherlands. Okay, Italy. We also need India. And Bangladesh also. No, I think it was actually Pakistan. I think it was Pakistan. Okay, around here, I forgot what the Pakistan flag looks like. Okay, yeah, here it is. Okay. Okay, also we need Argentina and Japan. And let's just start by using these flags for now, and we're just gonna go ahead and add the rest. So the way I'm gonna be doing this is just removing this completely, and I'm just gonna lock everything here, and I'm just gonna remove it. I should delete it. I just hit it here. So I'm just gonna be starting by taking the rulers out and having to present all the flags in their proper size. So let's go with something like this here. I'm just eyeballing it, and I don't really have any uh like proportions in mind. So I'm just eyeballing it here for let's continue with the UK. I'm making them big in terms of the viewership, right? So the countries with more viewership should be bigger, and thus the UK should be a bit bigger than the US. I think it's India next here. Where is India? Okay, here. Uh, so let's make this bit big as well here. Then I think it's Ethiopia next. Okay, so you can see the pattern here. We are going to continue with Argentina, then the Netherlands, then Italy, then Croatia, which would be a bit big here. Then I think Pakistan should be a good size here, since there is quite a lot of it here. Just not as big as uh, India, or just around the same as Croatia. Then we're gonna get Iceland and Japan here, which don't have too much, but okay, so just bit down here, something like this. So now that we have their sizes, let's just focus on making them work properly here together. Let's just position them correctly. Ethiopia should be a bit bigger, the US as well. Okay. So in reality, I think if this was like something I'm building for a client, what I would focus on is what channels, sorry, what stations are in which country, like which countries have more stations. So the countries with more radio stations should probably be presented here. So if a country has like 100 radio stations, they should be pretty big. And a country that has 50 should be there, but it shouldn't be as big. Then a country that like has two radio stations should not be featured here. It depends on the amount of value that the country is providing for the actual app. So here I'm doing it because I don't have that statistic. uh, and we're actually going to be creating this app. We're going to be programming it, but I don't have the statistics currently, so I'm just using my channel subscription matrix. But if you want to do that, and if you want to actually create something that follows the actual radio station statistics, I really do encourage you to try and find out which countries have uh, more radio stations and just trying to present them accordingly. I think that's quite enough here. That's a good presentation. Now, what I want to do is I want to go here, select all of them, and I want to detach their instances. Okay, so now from here, I want to just rename them, maybe. Obviously, here, okay, so yeah, I can't really go ahead and name everything here. That will take too much time. So I have a method for this. I'm just going to name it flag, then external. Here I'm using what is called a flag here. Not to be confused with the actual flag. A flag is just like a suffix or sometimes a prefix that indicates that this current layer has some different uh, property that separates it from the rest of the actual layers. So here, this is separated in that it is external. Obviously, we also have some external icons and stuff like that, but uh, we can just, it's very simple to edit those and change them up. While here, very, uh, it's very much difficult, and it does depend on the uh, icon here. So what I'm going to do is just going to be taking everything here and Control G, and here this is going to be flags. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy this and go to assets. So I'm just going to create a new frame here. I'm just going to duplicate this actually and just call this, let's get it down first. Let's call this flags, and I'm just going to select everything here and delete them. Then I'm just going to paste the flags in here, and I'm just going to make them into uh I'm just going to start by making them here. I'm just going to select everything and make them components, right? So make them components. So okay, that's not what I want. The way I want it is to just make these components. So the shortcut for components is Control Alt K, which I don't really like to use. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this for each and every one of these flags, which are, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So 11 flags here in total. So what I want to do is I want to take this group and I want to go back to the design, and instead now I'm just going to Control Shift R here. So now the flags that we are using are the actual components and not just random flags. Let's go back to the actual assets here, and I'm just gonna apply some auto layouting here, put them side by side, content here, content, center, actually top left, or actually center, no problem, and 32 pixel gap. That's very nice here. So actually we don't even need this group. We can just ungroup them and it will retain its properties. So now we have these flags here presented quite beautifully. And when the full course comes out, you can just go and access this Figma file and get the flags from there. Let's go back to the design page and let's actually enable the main content here. And I'm just going to cut the flags here. And I'm just going to unlock the contents page here and just paste it there. Now place it up here and okay, great. So the way we want to do it here is we want to have auto gaps here. So I'm just going to take a ruler here and I'm just going to position it just here. Meaning I'm just going to try to make sure that everything is aligned here. And it actually is. So we can just get rid of the rulers here. Okay, so obviously we want this to be much closer to each other, just 24 pixels, since there isn't really another separation here. Okay. What I want to do here is I want to take everything and okay. So the way we have to do it is we want to take the proportions and we want to just decrease their size. Here are the proportions for here. Decrease their size to be more presentable. Okay, very nice here. Okay, great. Obviously, I want to select everything here as well and apply auto gaps. And this is our third splash screen. Let's just rename it the third splash screen. And now we're just going to be moving on to the final splash screen. And we will be done officially with all the pages. So I'm just going to duplicate this, apply the fourth splash screen here. I want to pretty much remove everything here. But we're going to be doing it in a manner that just replicating and changing up the actual content instead of just changing it. So the way I'm going to do it here is I'm just going to go to the components, and I believe we had a nav bar for the splash screen. And the way I'm going to do it is very simple. Let's get this a bit down. Here I want to create a new component variant here. So this will be the default. This one would be the final or vibrant. So this will be the vibrant navbar for the vibrant or the forged splash screen. Now for this, I want to apply some auto layouts just to make everything a bit more presentable. Okay, let's position everything properly here. Okay, so the way I want to do it here is let's actually select everything first and just apply white. I want to go here and I want to change the logo to be full white. So I need a new gradient for it. I'm just going to go to the branding here and I'm going to create a new logo variant. So this will be orange BG, right? So for backgrounds with orange color, we need to have a different sort of logo. So I'm just going to do the same thing here by applying good spacing. Okay, so I'm just going to have to select everything now and just get them down a bit so it does not overlap. Great. So for this one, it's very simple. We're just going to have to give the color selection to be whites. Now, saying this, I do remember that we have overlooked something, which is to actually go here and we have, obviously, we have these colors which are coming from the logos. So we have to deal with that as well. But first of all, we have to deal with the radial gradient that we used here, and we have to make it into style here. This will be the splash gradient or splash grad. Great. So now I'm just going to go to the assets here and select everything. And we have to just make sure that the white is properly white. And let's just go around and unapply these variables since we don't really need them. They're just a one-time use. So I'm just going to go back to the components here and apply the orange BG one here. So after that, we have this skip. Now, the way I'm trying to handle this is I want to go and apply the brand 500. Okay, not for all of them, obviously. For the final splash screen, I want to apply the brand 500. And here, instead of the default, you can see why we had to change it. Instead of the default navbar, I'm going to apply the vibrant navbar. And you can see it's not really showing up. So in this case, what we can do is we can go to components and let's just focus on changing this to be either white or black, since both of them have pretty big contrast. I'm just going to go and apply white for this so we can clearly see it. But white is not really what we want. What we want here is a color that is not as vibrant as white, but it still has good visual hierarchy. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to select this color here and I'm just going to go somewhere around here. Okay, let's apply this here. So it appears as if even white is not fully visible. For sometimes these things happen with Figma's curve contrast checker. So I'm just gonna have to apply some sort of color here around here, which is going to be a darker orange. So let's apply. This is going to be probably one of our darkest. So this is going to be orange 200. And let's go back to the branding here. Since we already created a new color, we have to apply it. So let's duplicate this, Shift A to create auto layer for this side by side 32 pixels difference. And this would be the brand color. Now the first one should be brand 500. Actually, yeah, we're gonna be let's actually make this the brand the orange 200. Actually, we have to change the name as well. Since it does not fit our naming convention, it shouldn't be orange 200. It should be orange 500, I think. No, not actually, sorry. Here I just want to say brand 200. Okay, great. So after that, let's go here and name this brand 200. Now we have everything ready. Let's go back to the components and apply here the brand 200. And let's go back to design and let's go right click and reset instance. So now it is applied. Great. Next step, we want to go back and change uh, these elements right here. The way we want to do this is we want to start by creating a button here, a secondary button, since we already have a primary button here. So let's just take this up, duplicate it, bring it down here, 32 pixels. This is going to be the primary button, and this will be the secondary button. Now the secondary button is very simple. We just have to change this to be white. That's literally everything that we have to change, and name this secondary. So now let's just copy this, go to design. Now you might be asking, why not just make the primary button a different variant? And that's because I like to create different button components for each button, so that when I create animations and prototyping for them, it becomes much easier and I don't get cluttered. And you're going to be seeing that more and more as we continue building. So it appears as if I already have a secondary button. So it will be tertiary button, tertiary. So let's just apply that naming here. And so we have to get them right here. Okay, so now let's just copy the tertiary button and just Control-Shift-R. And I'm just going to make it fill the container. And let's change this to continue. Or actually, let's call it let's start, since this is the final screen. And for this one, we could go with the tertiary button, which secondary button, sorry, which actually looks very nice in this case. So just going to be keeping that. But for this, okay, for this indicator here, we will have to change this. We're just going to go to the components. And since we're just at we are creating some page indicators that are on different backgrounds, we need a different sort of style for them, right? So I'm just going to create a page indicator uh, for the vibrant page indicators. And the reason, again, I'm not creating just a simple variant here is simply because I need to do more interactions with them, right? So let's just select everything first here. I want to change the whites, and I want to change the purple to be our brand color. Then I want to change things up here. And for this one, we actually just need to apply the final one. So the final one here would be white, and the rest should be something like uh maybe the brand 200 would work better. Okay, great. So now let's just copy this. Let's rename it first. Copy it and go here, Control-Shift-R. Okay, so that's very nice currently. Uh, yeah, okay, that's very nice. So the final thing we want to do is you want to change this. So it's going to be very simple. The way we're going to be doing this is just applying some text. We're just going to write here, we're going to type let's, in all caps actually. Let's just write it out first. Let's change radio history. And I'm just gonna go ahead and make it all caps. Okay, just to make it very simple, let's rewrite it all caps. Let's change radio history. So typically on your last splash screen or your vibrant splash screen, you want to make it stand out, you want to make it big, you want to make it very interesting. So that's why we are going over the top here. And I need a new font for it. I want it to be very big. So let's just take the content part here and completely change it. And let's do around 96 pixels here. And let's drag it in here. Obviously, currently it is a bit too big, so I'm just going to have to change it to 64. Maybe a bit too big here. Sure, to 2. Uh, and we're just going to go with around 81% line height. That 81 is most of the time just enough space to create separation. Uh, so I'm just actually going to go with 86 here. Okay, then let's decrease the layer spacing. Then let's go with 81 font size. Okay, that looks very nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select radio history and I'm going to apply white. And let's select everything here and let's apply black for the black colors, right? So okay, so these are the colors that we don't use, but that is it here. Okay, that is the final vibrant splash screen. So this is one of the most important parts, the splash screens, right? So this is probably the first thing that the user will see actually of your app. So you want to make sure that is perfect, that is presented in a way that drags the user attention in and that makes the user excited to use your app. And you do that by just showcasing some of your qualities here first, and finally catching the user with a vibrant splash screen that takes the users into the app directly. So when we click let's go here, we just go back, we just start from the beginning here into the home page. That was everything relating to the splash, not only the splash screens actually, but also that was everything in terms of the screens. We are officially done with all the screens here. I think we created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 total screens. Next time, we're going to be starting by creating some interactions like hover or press not actually hover interactions, but press interactions for like and click interactions here. This needs a modal. We're going to be working on the models. We're going to be going back and working on each model here. And after that, we're going to be finishing off with a final prototyping lesson here, and the course will be completely done. Really hope you're enjoying so far the course. It's taking, I think it's going to be around 4 to 6 hours of content. Hopefully you like it, and I'm really enjoying creating this course. Okay, again, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and yeah, we're going to be continuing with the prototyping next time.